And just like that, it's time for our weekly roundup of all the things Lady just ain't gonna do this week. Number 1, Republican presidential debates coming to you imminently. Now, you might be sad that your favorite shows are on hiatus for the summer or just on hiatus indefinitely because of the strikes in Hollywood, but you can still get your dose of buffoonery because the Republican presidential debates are coming. And woo! Lord Jesus. All jokes aside, though, the Republican presidential debates are going to inform the presidential primaries, where folks get to decide who will be sent to the convention to receive the nomination to be the official candidate running against current President Joseph Robinette Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, in the mix are all sorts of folks. Chris Christie, the former governor of New Jersey, Tim Scott, U.S. Senator from South Carolina, Nikki Haley, former governor of South Carolina, Mike Pence, the former vice president of the United States, and Vivek Ramaswamy, which, I mean, I don't fucking know. He's like a businessman who basically holds fascist positions on government. Donald Trump, despite facing hella charges for hella shit, is also running for president, even though his position has been that he's still the president. So I don't really get how you're running for president when you already think you're still the president. But what is actually making sense in the world these days? I don't even know. So, and Ron DeSantis, the fascist governor of Florida. And we're going to come back to fascist Florida in another episode because we got a lot of shit to talk about there. But anyways, here's why we're talking about this right now. I need y'all to tune in and pay attention to what it is that we're working with here. Now, I have a friend right now who has been talking to me about how a lot of Black men are saying they're going to vote for Trump. One of these days, I'm going to get into it with y'all about why that's not likely to happen, despite what people are saying. And people say it every fucking election. But anyways, my friend also just recently posted that if they don't see Democrats in their state doing something about the housing crisis, they're going to vote Republican. And not just Republican, but for Donald Trump. Now, there's a bunch of reasons why this shit don't make no damn sense. And I love you, homie, but I just got to say it. Politics is a shitty game, but it doesn't fucking work that way, that you vote Republican to punish Democrats for not doing what you want. Now, I'm getting into this here because I actually want to see what I need y'all to actually see what we're up against, okay? I want you to see what they actually stand for, and I really want you to pay attention to their vision for this country and their vision for how government would work. I'll give you a little spoiler. Gone are the days when Republicans were the party of fiscal conservatism and limited government intervention. Now they are the party of white nationalists who actually want to destroy the entire federal government so that it can't get in the way of the violence they support or the greed that they practice. Okay? Now, how you think that voting for a white nationalist party is going to get you better housing policy for Black people is honestly beyond me, but go off though. I mean, there's always room for you here. We love you. I love you. But there are other ways to get what you want than giving your vote in protest to people who are now unabashed about killing you and me through violence or starvation. Okay? Now, there is a better way here, and that is actually to take over the fucking Democratic Party. But y'all don't want to have that conversation. Anyway, the point here really is to understand what you're up against and then make your voice heard. So, write to your party representative and be vocal about what you want. Let they asses know that you expect to see more money going to turning out communities of color and women to participate and to stop this bullshit of trying to appeal to white suburban moderate voters who don't like y'all no kind of way, okay? It's time to act like the party in power if you plan to keep some power. I'm gonna come back to this. Honestly, I am, because I really need y'all to hear me though. We're facing fascism. The first Republican debate is on August 23rd, and that's going to be followed by the second one on September 27th. Then we head into primaries in January of 2024. Y'all ready or not? Other things Lady ain't gonna do this week is brush fires destroying Maui historic towns. Now, there ain't no way we couldn't talk about the ongoing heartbreaking phenomenon of climate catastrophe, with the most recent one being in Maui, where brush fires have literally destroyed more than 80% of Lahaina and are raging across the Big Island as well. Now, these fires are made worse by winds from Hurricane Dora, plus underlying drought conditions. The winds are dying down, but the destruction is ongoing, and it's literally heartbreaking. So many people have lost their homes. So many people have lost their loved ones, or literally just can't get in touch with loved ones because the transportation systems are down and the communication systems are down. Now, all this on top of colonization conditions that has literally taken Hawaii away from her fucking people. So we all have somebody on soon to help us understand and really get to the bottom of this. But for right now, seriously, honestly, and fucking truly, if you have a trip planned there, please stay your ass the fuck home. Seriously. Now is not the time at all for your summer vacation or your wedding or what the fuck ever. Seriously. So please take that money and donate it to the Hawaii Community Foundation to support relief efforts. All this and more on our socials this week. And we have got to give more than thoughts and prayers. We need immediate action on climate change, y'all. This shit is like bad. Like bad. Let's get into what Lady wants more of this week, though. Okay? I've been waiting to talk to y'all about this shit all week, which is the Alabama ass whoopin. Now, if you haven't heard it by now, let me bring you the real. There was a significant rebellion in Alabama this week, and it was rooted in, we have had more than enough of your bullshit, otherwise known as don't start none, won't be none, aka do no harm but take no shit, aka don't write checks yo ass can't cash, aka black people are not the motherfucking ones. So here's the short version in case you have been under a rock these last couple of days. A riverboat called the USS Harriet, okay, in Montgomery, Alabama, was trying to dock, okay, but there was a fishing boat that was in the motherfucking way. Now, folk was trying to get the fishing boat to move, but they refused. These white people refused to move. And the captain, the black-ass captain, got off the boat to try to appeal to the fishing boat to move so they could dock. Now, the fishing boat was filled with white people, and two of them brave white people got off the boat and flexed on the damn captain. And then the captain threw his hat in the air, and the ancestors heard the message loud and clear because they knew some white nationalist ass was finna get fucked up in that moment. Now, it was almost as if there was like an ancestral debt that needed paying. A reparations, if you will, since this rebellion itself took place at a former slave port where our people were traded and sold. Now, lady don't condone violence, okay? But that's not even what the fuck we talking about here. You have the right to defend yourself. And these white folk were dead ass wrong, jumping 2 on one person. So when damn near every black person on the boat jumped in, all I can say is here, you done fucked around and found out. There wasn't no fucking way that we was just gonna sit back and watch while 2 of y'all jumped on the man driving the riverboat that all these other people were on, okay? Now, just to say another thing on this, white folks been scared since 1619 that black folk was gonna turn on them and dish back out the violent oppression that white people have been dishing on black people for fucking ever. And let me say this, those fears have been and continue to be unfounded. We just want to be left the fuck alone, and we want what everybody else wants and deserves, which is dignity, power, and safety, okay? But I'm going to tell you what, after more than 500 years of bullshit, don't come looking for no shit you don't want. And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb and Harriet Tubman. Other things Lady loves this week is the Ladies First docuseries. Okay, so I haven't seen it yet, but my weekend watching 100% is going to include this. The Ladies First docuseries, which covers the women of hip-hop. Now, on top of the fact that this series was in part produced by my homie, the incomparable Dream Hampton, who also happens to be a Lady Don't Take No listener, what I am loving about this is that these are the damn stories that need to be told. And leave it to Dreamy Fresh for always and in always being tapped in to that piece. Now, I was on the Vineyard this weekend visiting a dear friend and mentor of mine, and we went to the African American Film Festival one night to catch a showing of the docuseries produced by Chuck D of Public Enemy about the origins of hip-hop. And look, don't get me wrong. For real, don't get me wrong. I liked it. I enjoyed it. There was a lot of really important history and political context in the series that needed to be told. And the panel afterwards with Chuck D and Jalen Rose, also shout out to my nigga Jalen, who really actually tried his hardest to get some questions in because Chuck be talking. But also, they were the right questions, my G, so good on you. Anyways, the panel itself was informative too, and important. But I left with the question, where the fuck are the sisters at? You literally cannot tell the story of hip-hop or any other fucking thing without women. And the first episode, at least, of Chuck D's docuseries certainly left one with the impression that sisters was nowhere to be found and that hip-hop was primarily a man's art. Okay, so much so, in fact, that the docuseries' first episode doesn't even mention the absence of women or acknowledge it. In any case, like I said, leave it to Dream to make sure no woman gets left behind for real, for real. We owe her like a serious debt as one of our great griots, okay? She tells the shit that needs to be told, even when it hurts. And for that, we should be grateful, especially as we live through another era of history where there is an intentional campaign to be revisionist about how the fuck we got here and basically everything else. Now, I don't think y'all actually know what that takes to do. Like, what does it take to fight revisionism? But I need y'all to think on this a little bit and then thank Dreamhampton, okay? Other things Lady loves this week is the defeat of Ohio Issue 1. Now, good news coming out of Ohio this week as Issue 1 was soundly defeated on Ohio's ballot. Now, what is Issue 1, you ask? Well, Issue 1 was a ballot initiative that would have made it significantly more difficult to amend the state constitution. Now, right now, to change the Constitution, you need a simple majority of voters to do that, 50% plus one. Issue 1 tried to make it so that you would need 60% of voters to approve it, which is way fucking harder to achieve. Why does that matter? Well, because advocates who are trying to keep abortion legal for you and for me and for every fucking buddy are approaching a vote in November that would protect abortion rights in the state constitution. Now, despite the tyranny of the minority, yes, I said the minority, that is happening right this minute, that has effectively ended the federal right to abortion, abortion rights are still incredibly popular in this country, with the overwhelming majority of Americans wanting to keep the government out of their personal decisions. Issue 1 helps protect that right. More specifically, the right for the people to decide. Congratulations to Ohio for a sound defeat. It was like 57% against the measure to 43% in favor. We gonna see y'all in November.